Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so welcome once again to week 5 lecture for BUS 61704. So today we are not going to have lecture, but we have our guest speaker here with us, Miss Eileen, who is from the marketing. So Miss Eileen, probably you want to share a little bit about yourself and take it from here. My student is all yours now.
All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, a very good morning to everyone. I would just say that I wasn't expecting such a big crowd today. So I will actually get, hopefully everybody is settled in, and then I will actually start today's session. So I have done a fair share of company pitches and also stakeholders presentations in my whole working experience, but I would still say nothing as difficult as talking and sharing about myself and also some of the experiences that I've managed to garner throughout the past years that I've been working as a full-time marketer. So if you guys have any questions, even if Dr. Tanuja, if you have any questions at all, leave them. I mean, you can definitely put it in the comments, or, if you guys want to have my immediate attention, then please, just tell me, and then I will stop and I address to whatever questions that you have. So, okay, let me see how I can do this better. So, morning guys. So my name is Eileen, and I am a marketing manager for Partipost. And so basically, after graduating from high school, like many of you guys, I actually questioned what I want to be in the future. So I started writing down my options, starting with what my parents expect of me. Is it a lawyer? Is it a doctor or engineer maybe, right? So a prestigious job title with a handsome paycheck at the end of every month doesn't sound too bad. Except I wasn't born to, except that I was born to do more creative things. And I realized the idea of following SOPs and guidelines and being placed within the box suffocates me a little. So I know I was a chatterbox and I love interacting with people. Hence, I actually decided to major in public relations. The study of public relations, not sure if everyone knows about it. So basically, it covers 3 main domains. So the first domain is basically communications and media. The second thing is basically talking about public relations theory and also application. Last but not least is obviously writing for mass communication. I picked up additional 2 minors during my second year, journalism and also psychology, just because I wanted to hone my communication skills and learn more about effective communication. I've learned more than ever now how powerful words are throughout my entire uni days and throughout my whole working experience as well. We talk every single day, and it is actually the main core or foundation of our communication and relationship with other people. Not so sure if everyone were to concur with me. Without communication, I guess there is little to say about ourselves and how we communicate with people. So when used rightly, it can definitely raise you, but at the same time, if you were to use it carelessly, recklessly, it can definitely destroy you or another person, which is something you should always be careful of when you're writing about someone or you're talking about someone, being it online or even face-to-face, is something that you need to master, the art of communication. So months and years after developing my public relations practitioner skills, I decided not to go into public relations. And then I pivot to marketing instead, since it's a very fine line between the two anyway. I bet any lecturers listening to this most probably will have a different opinion. But at least to me, in my opinion, both share the same underlying goals to establish and maintain good relationship with the public through communication skills and to meet company goals. So since I've made that shift, I've never looked back. And throughout a decade of working, I had the opportunity to work with reputable MNCs that has taught me the various marketing spectrum and how to apply them in real life, situations. I've worked in places like Haagen-Dazs, Fox channels, and how to incorporate, and basically now incorporated into Disney, and also Time publications, just to name a few. So today I would like to share a little bit about one of two, actually, the most outstanding achievement in my working career. So not so sure if anyone from the crowd actually watches The Walking Dead. So when I was actually with the Fox channel team, The Walking Dead is basically an asset of mine. Basically, it's a baby of mine, whereby we actually think year after year, how do we launch better premier campaigns that is not only comparing us from other competitor TV shows, but also we compete with each other among the regions. For example, the Walking Dead in Malaysia will compete with The Walking Dead in Singapore, and also Indonesia, and also the Philippines. And that is how we usually, make sure we sit down and we actually drain out all our brain juice and see how we can actually come up with a good plan. So for the riding date itself, it actually came up a concept whereby we actually partnered with Grab and also Samsung. Let me just share with you a snippet. Can you still see my screen? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Hello. I'm excited, man. Let's do this. Damn it!
Shit.
Oh, come on, man! That's not, man. Why would you do that? Oh, shoot!
Okay, I think it's I could have peed in my pants, guys!
Oh!
Okay. So that was actually what happened for the riding date. And then I will
Sorry, Miss
also want,
Irene,
sorry.
the clip just now, do you have an audio for it, or it was just?
Oh yes, it was an audio. There
Uh,
was no audio shared across.
no, I think we need to share the sound as well.
Okay, wait, give me a sec. How do I do that? I'm so sorry, because when I just press play. Okay, you know what? So guys, I think I will share the videos with you guys later. I will not play any other videos after this. So just to make sure that you guys actually get the gist of the entire thing. So the whole riding date experience was basically a few marketing spectrums, which today I want to share with you guys. Planning a campaign actually takes a lot of initiatives, and it takes actually a lot of effort to actually run a particular campaign itself. So when you talk about marketing and when you talk about the spectrums itself, there are a lot of components when it comes to marketing. So just that one clip that you guys saw just now, and for us to actually promote the riding date in Malaysia, the first thing that you would take note of is obviously partnership. So partnership falls under marketing as well. How do you leverage off other brands without paying additional costs to promote the campaigns or the products or the services that you already have? All right, then we talk about content. So how did we actually come up with this idea? Was basically we wanted to give users an experience of how it is being in the Walking Dead set. So everybody, sorry. Yep. So basically, we want to give everybody an opportunity to be in the Walking Dead set and to give them a feel of how it is being in being surrounded by zombies and being chased by zombies as well. So there was a content and there was a storytelling behind it, giving everyone an experience, though not in the set itself, but in a Grab car. So basically there was content marketing, giving people what they need and what they want, and how do we best deliver it. And the first way we did it was through the video itself to actually do seeding. All right, then we talk about digital marketing as well. So as you know that these days, everybody is always attached to your phone. How do you actually make a particular campaign go viral? So one way is basically UGC, user generated contents. So what we actually did was we ensured that most of the Grab cars with this Riding Dead app, right, with this Riding Dead VR gear, most of the drivers are actually decked in zombie attires. So you will actually get a Mr. Zombie or Mrs. Zombie coming to your house, picking you up from your house, coming to your house to pick you up to your destination, and basically giving you an experience of a lifetime. And most of the time, they will be actually taking pictures and sharing on social media. And that is actually how social media marketing and also user-generated content, word of mouth marketing, has actually driven the Riding Dead to become one of the most viral campaigns, which was actually launched a few years back. So that is actually practically what I want to share with you guys today about The Walking Dead. The second one is basically the Marvel Studios exhibition which took place in Pavilion. Please let me know if anyone went to the exhibition last year. Or 2 years ago, sorry. Last year was pandemic. Can I see some emojis? Okay. There are actually some of them. Okay, so basically Marvel Studios took place 2 years ago in Pavilion, and it was actually the first Marvel Studios in Malaysia and Southeast Asia as well. So we actually had this for 6 months, and the whole event planning started since, pitching to Disney, because we are a Malaysian office. So we actually pitched to Disney. How do we actually made it to fruition? How do we actually start promoting it to sustain it for 6 months? And last but not least, how do we actually launch such a mega campaign? As you can see from the picture here, so we actually managed to get our then Prime Minister and also his wife to actually join us for the launch. So that was one of the highlights of the entire launch itself. So what I want to share here is basically event planning and also marketing, on-ground marketing. Basically, it's something that and it's another spectrum of marketing whereby you guys will be doing a lot, but not recently due to the fact that it's still pandemic, even though we are moving to endemic right now. So it is always good to know that even if you're planning an online campaign or an offline campaign, there is always a marketing plan. And when we talk about marketing plan, it's always, making sure that you have your right objectives. You have your timelines, the reason why you're doing this. Do you have the resources for this? What kind of resources do you need to actually make such event work? So for example, the launch of the whole Marvel exhibition consists of not only, internal parties, which is Disney and also Pavilion and also ourselves, who is the agency. We also work very closely with the government bodies. There are a lot of SOPs. There are a lot of back and forth when it comes to getting approvals, because bringing the then Prime Minister is not just bringing him alone. You need to bring a whole load of security as well. So how do we actually make this work? So a lot of planning goes into making a campaign, though it looks glamorous when it is actually launched, but basically there are a lot of hard work behind. But let me tell you, it's worth it. All right, so we talk about so basically we talk about the marketing spectrum, and we talk about partnerships, we talk about digital marketing, we talk about social media marketing and content marketing as well. But what is storytelling? Again, I think that is the gist of what I'm trying to share with you today. So before I actually move on to what storytelling is all about, I would like to share with you what content marketing is. So content marketing is basically, it's actually a marketing technique of creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and acquire a clearly defined audience with the objective of driving profitable customer actions. Okay, the key word to take away from here is basically valuable. Is what that changes the definition from one that describes almost any form of advertising to or marketing. You can tell if a piece of content is the sort that will be a part of a content marketing campaign if people is actually actively seeking and want to consume it rather than avoiding it. So that is storytelling. That is content marketing. But what is storytelling? Storytelling is not a process, is not a method, is not a technique. It is actually an art, the art of storytelling. And like any other art, any form of arts, it requires creativity, vision, skill, and also practice. Storytelling isn't something you can grasp in a sitting after one course. It is through many trials and error that you master this art of storytelling. Sounds like a lot of work, right? It is, and rightfully so, because storytelling has become one of the most crucial component of the most successful campaigns, successful marketing campaigns. It distinguishes vibrant brands from simple businesses and loyal customers from one-time stop-in shoppers. So why do we tell stories, right? So there is actually 3 points why we actually tell stories as a marketer. So number one, stories solidify abstract concepts and simplify complex messages. So we've all experienced confusion when, for example, you're in a class and someone is trying to explain to you a certain vision or a certain image that this person have in mind when they are discussing about talking about assignment ideas and stuff, right? Sometimes you just cannot, because you are not that person and you cannot read into their mind. So most of the time, it will actually lead to a lot of confusion when it comes to new ideas, right? But stories provide a way around it. So think about a time when, a story is actually made you understand a concept better. So it helps you to solidify abstract concepts and simplify complex messages. Taking a lofty, non-tangible vision and relating it to concrete ideas is one of the biggest strengths of storytelling in business. So I want to give you an example, and I think this example would relate to all of you guys. I'm going to use Apple. So, computers and smartphones are a pretty complicated topic to describe to a normal layman audience. Imagine you needing to talk about Apple. Imagine you needing to explain to your parents what Apple is all about and why do you need the latest model, right? So what Apple did is they actually used real life stories and they actually describe how the products actually benefit the users through their stories. And then, instead of, using technical jargons, which very little people will actually understand. So basically that is the first point. The second point is basically stories bring people together. Like I said above, stories are like a universal language of sorts. Everyone has their own stories. And I guess, and I believe, not guess, I believe everyone is a storyteller one way or another. We all understand the story of the hero, the story of the underdog, or the story of the heartbreak that we all went through. We all process emotions and we can actually share the feeling of joy, hope, despair, and also anger, right? Sharing in a story gives even the most diverse of people a sense of relatability and community. And in the world divided by multitudes of things, stories bring people together. They create a sense of community. Do you agree? But despite our languages and religion, and our political preferences and ethnicity, stories connect us through the way we feel and how we respond to them. Stories just make us human. Sometimes, I guess, when we are actually scrolling through our YouTube channel as well, you will most probably come across a video or a commercial that is actually not made in Malaysia, that maybe most probably is not using English or Bahasa, and there's actually no way to actually understand what they're trying to say. But through just looking and actually just watching the whole video itself, through the storyline, you'll be able to empathize and somehow at the end of the day get what they're trying to say. So that is actually how story will relate to people and bring people together to feel the same emotion. And then the last but not least, obviously, is stories inspire and it motivates. Like I mentioned, stories make us human. And it's the same for brands or even a company. It doesn't have to be a product. It could be a service. It could be a company, right? But when brands get transparent and we are being authentic, we tell people who we really are. We tell them that we are not perfect. It actually helps consumers connect with us and also the people who are actually behind the companies even better. Because what we did was we tapped into people's emotions and we bear both the bad and the good and how stories can inspire and motivate and eventually drive action. You know, stories can also foster brand loyalty. I think for brands, this is something that we always look for. How do we actually connect with our audience? How do we make them love us? And how do we make them follow us forever, right? So forever is too far, but that is always a lofty ambition that we always have. So creating a narrative behind your brand or your product will not only humanize it, but it also markets your business. Then we move on this same topic itself, on these content creators / influencers, right? Would you not concur with me that Jen Chia, aka Swan Jen, and also Genie Boy, has been one of the greatest storytellers in Malaysia of this time? Do you guys agree? Can I see some response?
I don't know who is she.
Jen Chia,
Chen Xia, I don't know.
Auntie Xiao.
Don't know. I know Bill Gates.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because we are talking. Okay, I think it's. I mean, as long as you have an Instagram or a social media content, and if you were to look at what are trending in Malaysia, I guess she is actually one of the trending personalities as well. And the reason why I'm actually bringing her up, you know, in replacement of Bill Gates or Elon Musk, who just acquired Twitter, right? It's because what we want to talk about is how do we actually localize content and how do we actually support local content creators as well. So that is actually what generally I'm trying to get through as well. Hopefully, you know, after this session, you'll be able to know who they are. And then maybe we can also share a different session about how they have inspired you through, you know, some of their content sharing. So I know today's session is mainly learning about the road to entrepreneurship, right? So I also want to say that they are actually, when it comes to Jen Chia and also Genie Boy, they are actually one of the leading entrepreneurs in the creative industries in Malaysia that is highly sought after. So Jen Chia currently has her own creative agencies where she actually not only film content for herself, for her audiences on social media, but she also worked with different brands to see how she can impart her creative juice into the picture to help brands to actually drive awareness and also drive conversions. So Genie Boy, I think everybody knows Genie Boy. So Genie Boy started with a series of mini-size videos, YouTube videos, right? Basically tackling about Malaysians pet peeves, right? Being late, talking about Abu Dhabi and stuff like that. So basically he has become a household name in terms of videography as well. So that is you know, content creation and / influencer that we are talking about today. And just sharing a little bit. So consumers need to engage and connect before deciding to purchase or subscribe to anything. and storytellers can actually close the gap. So basically, content creators, yes, they are one of the top marketing tool currently, but if you lack the vision and the storytelling, basically the storytelling ability, you will actually lose your consumer, and basically you will lose your followings. So the most effective way is, how do you actually reach out to people? How do you connect with people? By putting yourself in their shoes, knowing what they need, speaking their language, and giving them what they truly are looking for. I guess that is what content creators are doing right now, and when we talk about content marketing as well. Just to also share a little bit stats with you. So just last year, right, influencer marketing has seen a global boom. The fact that the whole pandemic actually expedite the whole digital marketing and the whole influencer marketing. So just last year in Malaysia, just to share with you, there was actually 22.55 million active users who are actually opt to be content creators and also influencers in Malaysia. So if you can actually look at it, right, social media influencers grew by 500,000 the past year. And it is on a track record, is actually growing. So basically in 2019, the market value was actually at 8 billion. And the expected market value now in 2022 is actually valued at 515 billion. So what I'm trying to say is, whether or not you would like to be an influencer or you want to engage a content creator for your business in the future, this is something that you need to take note of. So I want to share a little bit about some case studies as well. So I'm going to talk about local personalities again. So basically, that is Timothy Tia, who basically is the owner and founder of Navneck, and currently owns a series of co-working space called Colony, together with his wife Audrey Ooi. And then we have Brian Lu, who is also the founder of T-Life. So I guess I'm hoping everybody would actually know these two personalities. So why I'm actually sharing this with you is because both of them actually have something in common. And when we talk about influencer marketing, people will be always thinking, it's going to cafe, sharing something nice, most of the time is a waste of time sometimes. People would perceive it this way. But there is a different way to see it if used correctly, right? It is content marketing at its best. So these two persons, so Timothy Tia and also Brian Lu, what they actually did was, they actually know that they have a business. And instead of engaging an influencer or a content creator or even an agency to actually drive content for them, what they did was, they actually market themselves. They made themselves as a content creator. They made themselves as an influencer for their brand. Not only they do not have to pay, basically no one has to pay them for marketing their own brand. On another flip side is, they are the one that understand the business the most, and they should be the most authentic voice. And they are actually using themselves, their experiences, the hardship that they've gone through to actually market their own product. Basically, they give you see whatever that storytelling is trying to, basically, they are making you see the good, the bad, and everything to make you feel connected to the brand. And hence, at the end of the day, you will not support T-Life, for example, because the bubble teas are the best. No. Maybe most probably you liked it is because of the journey that they've gone through, the hardship they've gone through, the creative journey, the different phases that they've gone through. So you actually showed support when you actually purchase their product, not so much of the bubble tea. And that is the whole reason why they're doing what they're doing. So, but actually, at the end of the day, what does this mean to you, right? So brands are definitely looking to spend money to tap into influencer marketing, aka also content creation. So this will actually give individuals like yourself the opportunity to, be content creators or influencers full-time and not being worried about not being paid. But wait, with that being said, we are currently facing with an influx of influencers in the market, even in Malaysia. And believe it or not, consumers are going through content fatigue. And I think at some point, all of you guys feel it too, because I feel it too. So as opposed to a few years ago, consumers are now going to look for more trusted influence in their purchasing decisions. And the trend is no longer going to just favor influencers with the highest following, because that's not how it works these days, but those with the highest engagement rate. So before we talk about the tips of how to be a successful content creator, and let me tell you, the reason why I'm sharing this is not because, oh, you will need it in your working career moving forward, or you will need it if you want to become an influencer, for example. No, the fact that you actually dish out content on social media, you would want to effectively communicate your ideas and effectively influence or maybe tell people about something that is really good. And how can you do it in a more efficient way? So basically, this is what content creating is all about, right? So content, yes, going back, what are engagement rates? So just to actually share with you, Partipost is actually a crowd marketing platform, aka also known as an influencer agency. So we do work with a lot of influencers or content creators, and we work with a lot of brands as well. We are some sort of a middle person. And then we realized throughout the years, of having this ecosystem of being a middle person between brands and influencers, we actually have a volume of requests from brands whereby they are actually looking for more authentic profiles. They are looking for more authentic people who is not just a billboard. Okay, let me define to you what is a billboard. I think everybody know when you drive past the street, you will definitely see a billboard plastered at the side of the road. And then every few months, they will actually change the poster, and there is this new poster on talking about a different brand, talking about a different service. At the end of the day, a billboard has no personality. It is just a medium where you just plaster on a promotion of a product or a service. And that is what a content creator should not be. You should have your own ideology. You should have something that you are passionate about to share. And it's not about how much money someone is going to give you to just plaster the entire Instagram profile with ads. That is not how it works. So what I'm trying to say is there should be a very good balance between paid ads and also authentic postings in your social media. If content creation is the road you want to go, influencer is someone you might want to be. It could be a side hustle. It doesn't have to be a full-time thing, right? So good balance is basically something brands are looking for, and that is actually how we actually choose our influencers to when we actually promote when we actually propose it to brands as well. So when it comes to how to be a successful content creator or a successful influencer, basically you have these 5 simple steps. So the first one is you have to find your niche. Like I told you, you need to focus on what you love to do and what you want to share with the world, right? You got to ask yourself, what are you good at? What am I passionate about? And what I'm interested in. Then choosing the right platform is also very important. So choosing the proper platform based on your niche, you've selected by exploring the different social media platforms available to you and determine which is the home to your target audience. For example, if you like to take a lot of pictures and you like to, then Instagram is for you, for example. And if you are someone who has a lot of things to say, for example, and is very opinionated in a moderation way, right? And then you just want to make sure your voice is being heard, then Twitter is for you. And for example, if you're into music, you're into trends, you're into dancing, for example, then TikTok is for you, right? So that is mainly what it is for number 2. So number 3 is develop a strategy. I guess in everything you do, you need to develop a strategy and a calendar, even if it's something that you're planning to do on a part-time basis. The reason why I say so is because I think as human beings, not only as students, right, even for people who are working, it's always good to have a calendar or a strategy of what I want to do because there is a place that I want to be. So that take that and make it a few to make sure that you have everything planned out and everything is clear and you will not miss out any blind spots, just to make sure you have the best of everything. So that is number 3. Number 4 is basically define your audience. Basically, defining your audience is discover who your audience is and who would you most likely want to connect. Because most probably everybody will have a passion that they like. For example, a person A who loves cafe hopping, who loves beautiful, decorated Instagrams worthy places, like taking pictures of the latest dessert in town, for example. Then most probably your audience will be people like you, right? Or maybe females, or even people who likes to take a lot of pictures, a lot of beautiful pictures. Definitely the auntie and the uncle base will not be your audience. But you are talking about something like Tai Chi, about health related, or something about taking good care of your mental state, for example, then most probably it would be a broader audiences, right? So that's number 4. Number 5 is basically building a plan to generate traffic strategically. So reason why this is important is because it increases the opportunity to build impressions, to build relationships, and sharing your brand to a wider audience outside of your current circle of influence. So basically, I think everything that you guys do, to a certain extent, you want someone to see it. You want someone to acknowledge it, but not validate. I think validation should come from yourself. But at the end of the day, you want people to see all the good things that you have done, or some of the good pictures you've taken, right? So you want to share it with the world. So basically, planning how to generate traffic strategically is something you can look into as well. So the next point will be, can individuals like you be a marketing medium? Because the whole discussion sharing today is more about marketing spectrum and how content is a very important tool. So at the end of the day, let me ask you this question. Can humans, right, be a marketing medium? And the answer is actually yes. So with content creation and content creators and influencers in the market, basically you can be a marketing medium and an effective one as well. But you need to choose the most effective method. If you do not know where to start, obviously, like I shared with you earlier, Partipost is actually an influencer platform. So what we do is we are the middleman. We actually get campaigns from brands. We will post it on the app. And then, people like you who are budding influencers or who are already, a mega influencer who is actually trying to get gigs, right? And to actually get side hustles, aside from study time, right? So basically, Partipost will be able to give you this opportunity to work with established brand and also to increase your experience and also credibility. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase your engagement rate as well. So very quickly, what is Partipost? This is basically the company that I work for right now. So I will not share the video. However, I will actually share this this slide with Dr. Tanuja later. Maybe you can share it with the rest of the team. So basically, what is Partipost? So basically, before we even talk about what Partipost is, which I've shared in brief about what Partipost is, I think I want to do a short survey with all of you guys. Can I know how many of you guys don't own any social media, like IG, Facebook, and TikTok? Okay.
I don't plan
Then
TikTok or Facebook.
Sorry?
I do have a Facebook account, but I don't really use it so often. Yeah, and I don't play TikTok.
Oh, what about IG, Instagram?
IG maybe one times a day and like 10 or 5 minutes because I got so much things to do. Yeah, so busy.
Okay. Okay. But you still have, right? So,
Yeah.
okay. Then the second question I would want to ask the floor as well, how many of you guys don't share your daily musings on social media? Like you guys don't share about anything at all. Not even an IG story, for example.
Recently, I stopped sharing anything from my life because it is unnecessary. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about the rest?
Miss, I also don't share much. Before,
Okay.
I used
Okay.
to quite share something on Instagram, or Facebook. But
Alright.
yeah, I made a choice because maybe expectation or getting people to like and stuff is more of a problem sometimes than anything else.
I do agree, actually, what you just mentioned. I guess everything should be used at moderation, and do not, try to. I think the most important advice I would give you, even though I work in a social media company, right? Sorry, in a company that promotes social media, I would say that whatever you do, don't have expectations of how people is going to respond to you. Like, don't seek validation from people who are who are not you, right? Who are actually just seeing you from the other side of the screen. So don't have expectation. Do what you feel like doing. Do you, like what Jen always say, you do you, right? And just don't put yourself in a pedestal whereby you allow people to judge who you are and what you actually share. Because if you are actually seeking those validations and you're actually trying to get people's opinion about you and then shape your own personality, I guess that is the wrong way. So it's a little bit diversion, but yes, please consume social media in moderation, please. So okay, now that I'm actually done with my survey, I would actually surprise, to be honest, I would be actually more surprised if there's any answers. If any one of the students here were to tell me, no, I don't own social media, I don't post anything at all, right? I would be actually more surprised. So what I'm trying to say is, while doing it in moderation, if you guys are going through a route where you guys do share and then are passionate about the things that you do in terms of the cafe or in terms of the food, in terms of the food, for example, that you guys are eating today and it's super good and you want to share it with everyone, or the latest travel destination. I know right now we can't go anywhere, but maybe Chuti Klang Valley, I don't know. But yes, so if you guys are really into it, right? So what Partipost does for you guys is basically, we will bring you more meanings to daily sharing. So you can actually share your content online in a more, how to say, it's not that you never thought about it. So basically, by joining campaigns on Partipost, it is actually a calculated move of what you want to do and what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So how it works is basically, Partipost is an app whereby there will be a listing of campaigns in it. And at the end of the day, if you were to join campaigns by posting items and brands or products on your social media, you will actually get paid at the end of the day. So for the students today, I would not say that content creation and influencer is the future of the world, or I would say it is the future of marketing, but it is not something that you should be focused about. It is something that you can only do. I mean, basically something you do during your free time, because I think at the end of the day, studies is more important. But what Partipost does for you is basically, while you focus studying, you can actually do very simple campaigns, earn some money, and then you can also, get some money. I mean, basically use those money to actually purchase some of the food from the next cafe run that you're doing. Okay. So just would like to share really quickly as well. So Partipost, we actually have an exclusive club, so it's called Party Club. So Party Club is slightly different from our normal. I mean, it's different from the normal influencers who actually join the campaigns on our platform. It's basically because Party Club is an exclusive club whereby we not only give you exclusive deals and we give you exclusive payouts. Means basically what it means is the campaigns that you join, the payouts are slightly higher. We also have this workshops and also community sharing of how content marketing has actually helped the marketing industry in Malaysia itself, and how we can actually help you on your journey if you want to become a content creator, be it on social media, be it on YouTube, for example, or you want to have it. I mean, because at the end of the day, content creation is not just text, it's also visual. it is also video. So currently content creation also flow over to podcasts as well. So for example, if this is a route that you are interested in doing, so it is something that, you know, Party Club will be able to help you with. So okay, so these are some of the campaigns that we are currently running and some of the UGCs that we have. Basically, UGCs, user-generated content. So basically, if you guys are interested, you guys can take a look. The most important thing is if you download the app, you'll be able to see everything. And then as a recap. Okay, so I've said in length in terms of, you know, my journey as a marketer, what I've done, and content creation, and also social media marketing, and also influencer marketing. So basically a recap of everything, right? To all the students here, it's the first point is it is okay not to know for sure what you want to become in the future. Like myself, you know, I wasn't sure, and I actually took up a public relations course, and currently I'm actually doing marketing. So however, I encourage every one of you guys to explore and try out as many things as possible when you are younger. In time, you will definitely know for sure where your passion lies and what you want to do in the future. As some saying, you try so many things, you might not know what you want, but you know exactly what you don't want. And then that is the point that I'm trying to drive. And then the second thing is marketing. It's all about, you know, thinking outside the box. And there's a saying, you know, go big or go home. I think it's the same when it comes to coming up with an idea of what kind of entrepreneur journey you want to go onto as well. Go home, go big or go home, right? And it's okay to actually have crazy ideas. It's really okay. But from there, you know, you streamline and you develop your ideas more and more so that it becomes more realistic and it's more possible to be executed. Okay. The third thing is basically read. I know it might sound a little boring, but it's always a good thing to know what is happening around the world. That is actually what differentiates a good marketer from a great marketer. And I believe it also differentiates what is a good entrepreneur to a great entrepreneur. Knowing the trend and acting on it fast, that is the key. Number 4 is, can everyone be a content creator? Yes, even if you're a boss of the company, right? So Partipost is actually a platform that encourages anyone. When I say everyone, I mean you, Dr. Tanuja, if she's interested, Miss Usmani as well, you know, your moms and your dads as well, you know, as long as you guys are interested, there is always a campaign for everyone. Because at the end of the day, making side money doesn't have to be time consuming. It doesn't have to be hard as well. And lastly, you know, like I've just mentioned, if you are interested to actually join the Party Club to actually learn more about the Partipost journey and how to create effective and efficient content, then just give us a ping and then you can actually reach us in the next slide. But before that, do you guys have any questions?
Hi, Miss Eileen. I have a question.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, my name is David, and I would like to ask about your experience being a marketer. How is it different from your days being in the public relations world and now being a marketer itself? How is the difference, and what do you think is the advantages and disadvantages of being a marketer as compared when you were as compared as you were public relations back then?
Okay, sorry to disappoint you, David. I did not actually enroll into any public relations agency. I was actually studying as a PR practitioner. However, once I graduated, I actually joined the marketing world. But what I would be able to share with you is the difference of being, the things that I study in PR and versus the things that I've been doing here in marketing, what's the biggest difference? I would say the biggest difference, it's a bit crude, but the biggest difference to me is when a PR writes a piece, when a PR writes a content, and when they share it with the media, as long as it is newsworthy, they will share it for free. All right. But if a marketing person, a marketing department were to write a piece, a newsworthy piece, which will help mankind, and we share it with the media, we are expected to pay. That is generally, I guess, the biggest difference between the both departments in terms of PR and marketing. Else, I would say that at the end of the day, it's generally the same, because it's all about communication. It's all about reaching and making the audiences feel good about a particular brand or a particular product, for example. How do we actually effectively communicate our USPs, be it an event, for example, or a product or a service, or be it like Cuti Cuti Malaysia, right? What are the USPs and how do we effectively reach out to people? I guess in this spectrum itself, PR and marketing does the same thing in terms of writing a content, making sure that people are aware of the content that you've written, try to change their mind with plenty more other contents on the way. And then at the end of the day, making sure that they have a good feeling about what we've done. For example, it could be for Cuti Cuti Malaysia, right? In the beginning, most probably people will be like, why do I want a Cuti Cuti Malaysia when I actually can go to neighboring countries when it's even cheaper? But, if done right, people will be able to see, wow, actually, Malaysia is actually quite beautiful. And I think in the recent years, everyone will concur because most of the people are actually traveling in Malaysia itself. And then we actually have spots which is worthy to be compared with Maldives, for example, or New Zealand, right? So these are actually what content does. And I guess this is what I'm trying to derive to you as well. So I don't know if that answers your question, David.
No worries, actually. So since you haven't really worked in the public relations field as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your opinion.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Any other questions from the floor?
There is one from Paula. Do you recommend someone to solely base their income on marketing/content creation?
It's a very tricky question, and I do not know how to answer this, especially when there's a lecturer on board. Okay, but honestly, I would say that it is okay, but it is going to be a very lonely and it's going to be a hard journey. People always think that content creators and influencers don't work as hard. It is actually a very big misconception. Every popular, I mean, at least the good quality ones, right? That actually dish out good quality content, the ones that I would recommend, right? There are actually a lot of planning behind. Thinking about what to post every single day, every single month. How do you actually engage with your audiences, making sure, that you not only grow your base, but how would you actually retain your base? So there is a lot of things going on. Okay, like I mentioned, let me break it down. So obviously there is the planning and strategizing of content. And then you need to think about consumer journey as well. What does your audience think? What happens? How are you going to retain them? Because at the end of the day, if it's just going to be a feel good thing, it's a touch and go. I can see one content and I'll just drop off the next day. But how do you retain them? It's a consumer journey that you need to think about as well. Then the next thing is, how do you keep them wanting for more, right? Basically, at the end of the day, there are so many content creators and influencers online. How do you actually stand up and basically put yourself in a pedestal whereby you're different from other people? I think the whole idea and planning and strategy, you also need to think, what is your USP? What is your unique selling point? What's the differentiation? So I would say, if done right and with a lot of hard work, And you have to promise me that you put a lot of hard work, then I will tell you that at the end of the day, content creation and influencer could be a full-time gig. But if, you know, you are doing it because you think that maybe I don't have to work that hard, I don't have to put in that much effort, then I don't think it is a full-time thing for now for you. So that would be my answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Eileen. So I guess we only have 2 minutes before we end the session. Now, for students, a very quick one, if I may share my screen. I believe some of you did not see the chat box, so please take the attendance here, yeah? We only have about another 2 minutes, and after that, the attendance code will close. So please do that as soon as possible. Miss Eileen, thank you very much for the sharing session. I think we all have learned and we understand that marketing is indeed not an easy process. Even myself, we have seen the trend from few years ago. It was more about number of followers, and now it turned to number of engagement. And God knows what will, you know, what's going to happen in 3 years or 5 years down the road. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And then with Elon Musk just acquiring Twitter, we don't know. We really don't know how social media is going to change the next coming months.
Exactly. So I guess we, as an entrepreneur, even students, as a future entrepreneur, we always have to be aware about the changes, not only in terms of our product or our services, but also in terms of marketing. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing the attendance code. Okay, so once again, Miss Eileen, thank you so much for the invaluable sharing session. And also thank you, class, for some of the questions. And Miss Yusmani, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, do you have any questions or anything you want to share?
Thank you so much, students, for your time, and hopefully you are focused to what Miss Eileen said, so that you can write your reflection properly and well. Miss Eileen, thank you so much for your time and your endless support to B-Sport and Teles University. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my honor. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Okay, students, if there's no further questions for me or to Miss Eileen, you may leave, yeah, and enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget, you need to submit your report by today, 10 p.m.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Eileen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Yep. Thanks, Dr. Tanuja. I need to leave for another meeting, okay?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I will WhatsApp you after this.